Well, welcome back to the Hunter Tale podcast. Just want to go ahead and put this out there for you guys to, chew on it a little bit. But heaven is earth and earth is heaven. We're already there, guys. Like, I finally understood. I have never understood it until this moment. And it's because I had a moment where I was grappling with the idea of heaven and hell. So let me give you a little bit of context. I was reading a book, and I haven't finished the book because I had to stop reading the book because I became almost bleak. This feeling of like dread began to overtake me, and this hopelessness began to fill me because I was reading a book called A Short Stay in Hell, right? A Short Stay in Hell, just to summarize it for you guys, is saying this. Guy wakes up, he's in hell. Or the waiting room to get into hell. In the waiting room, all these people are there like, oh my God, I don't know why I'm here. I was a good person. I was a Christian. And it's the guy, the demon that's there is like, yeah, you were a Christian, but unfortunately, Zoroastrianism was the only true religion. So that tough titties. And he was like, well, the good news, though, is unlike your hell, which is saying that you're going to be there for eternity, that's not how hell for Zoroastrianists is. What it is you go to hell and you're going to be there until you learn your lesson, and then you can keep moving on, right? And so everybody's like, that still sucks because we're still going to hell, right? So now he gets to the guy, the protagonist of the book, and he says, well, looking at you, you were a Mormon, good Mormon. You would have been a good Zoroastrianist, but because you were a Mormon, you're going to hell, and you like to read, so I'm going to send you to this hell. A different form. Everybody has their own different hells, I suppose. He gets to this hell, and it's this massive library, right? It's nothing but books and books and books and books and books. And it has these rules, and it says you will eventually be able to get out of this hell once you find the book that is perfectly written about your life. And it's in here, but you have to find that book. But inside of this library is every book that has ever been written and every book that could possibly be written. So it's almost infinity amounts of books in there, right? Inside of this library, they have any food that they can possibly want. They can't get addicted to anything. So if you want to drink until you pass out and you have a great time, have a party, do it. And then the next morning you wake up and you're good. You don't age. Your body is preserved, not when you died, but when you were at your peak. So your sex is good, your life is good, your teeth look good. You're in an optimal position. But you got to find this book. So everybody is in this level of despair because they're like, when will we ever get out of here? Will it be 10 years, 100 years, 1,000 years, 1,000,000,000,000 years? And they would just go. And they went through all these different cycles of love and sex and hatred. And they have all these different experiences. But eventually, after almost 1,000,000,000,000 years, they're just, I don't know, because I haven't finished the book. Because when I got to this point, I stopped reading because I began to feel this deep darkness, feel like it was overtaking me, And I was like, ugh, eternity. Eternity is hell. And very often, we're given images of hell because hell is scary. And, most people think of like, oh, to burn in hell for eternity or to rot in hell for eternity. But what is heaven? People rarely ever give the idea of heaven past the golden gates. You get the golden gates, you get the beautiful, white clothing, and then you're in this blissful place. Whatever you are, I don't care what you are, but you're given something that is good forever. But that's hell. Hell is anything for eternity. A vampire lives forever. It sees death and it loses its purpose. And what I've come to find is that as a traveler, right, we really do live like day to day to day to day, right? Because like I book my hotel for like the 2 days and then 2 days and then 2 days. And that's kind of how long my span is in terms of housing. I was hanging out with one of my old girlfriends last night. She's a flight attendant for Emirates. And so she landed in the same city that I was in, which is Spain. And we were like, okay, yeah, let's get together. And because she was only here for a layover, we only had a very limited amount of time together, right? But because of that, It was like, let's enjoy this to the fullest because we know it's only for this little amount of time. So you don't give any sacrifice to the moment. You really do live it. And because of this, humans, as we live longer and longer and longer, we justify sacrificing more and more of our time. And that's us building almost a hell. You know, routine and doing the same thing every day in this robotic way, so that time is now extended but also shrunk because you forget so much of your life because it doesn't have any real meaning. That's the existence of, I would say, a majority of the modern day man. And you are existing in hell. But earth, as earth is heaven, because earth is continually changing. You know that you only have this amount of time, and if you truly give yourself the freedom to enjoy it, and that doesn't mean go super hedonistic unless you want to. But if you went hedonistic and then you went very spiritual and then you would change back to hedonistic because hey, there's nothing wrong with that, because that is you embracing heaven, which is change, death, the life-death cycle, existence to cease, to exist, back to existence is heaven. And I'm glad I'm here. If you enjoy this format or this whatever this was, because this is very different from this typical Hunter Tale podcast that's super travel, but this is really the things that I think of often. If you are interested in this and these thoughts, comment, because I have this daily. And I would love to be able to really engage with people on this level, because this fills me and I feel alive speaking about it, because this is life. Life is change. Let me know. Thanks for tapping into the Hunter Tale podcast.